Okay. Okay. What's up? I did not schedule this. Totally random. Just thought I would squeeze this in real quick, just because there's a couple things that happened that kind of caught my attention. Um, Literally just now, and it's just funny. I mean, it's just funny how these things happen. Danos, what's good? I just seen your name in the other video I watched. How you doing? Chris Clark, what's good, brother? All right. Yeah, so pretty funny. I'm gonna watch the entire thing. Man, I can always rely on you. I've said that before. I'll say it again, I suppose. Oh, four people up in here already. All right, so funniest thing. I wasn't going to start with this. I was going to start with something else, but I'm going to start with this. So, because it just happened, just like happened to notice the other day that 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 Jay's did some live, right, where he said, where like the title is just bluntly, um, gonna review clones now. I really thought it was just gonna be a joke. Um, I did. I thought it was gonna be just some kind of like sarcastic thing. It's not. It's completely real. It's just funny to me. By the way, drinking First State hazy uh Circle Theory tangerine. This shit's so good. Tangerine, stone fruit. It's very. I mean, look at Middletown, Delaware. It's very orangey. Looks like it's orange juice or something. Nice and citrusy, but not like over the top. Um, yeah, you. No, not the apology thing. No, not that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his clone video. He's got a video, his videos up. He's going to start doing clone reviews now because he doesn't want to pay for expensive high-end mods, and he doesn't want to put anything non-vape related on his channel anymore. He's made like um, sub categories for different. He's made multiple channels essentially. Well, I know he's had multiple channels for a while, but like he's really going to divvy it up apparently. And yeah, his apology or whatever. But the whole thing is that he's going to do clone reviews because there's a lack of products directly from China that are like commercial grade, and the high end stuff is just too expensive. And he said he already alienated himself from the high end crowd, so he may as well. Right. Well, that's all well and good, except like he was like he went from like being okay with clones because years ago most people were, to like bashing clones, hating it. Everyone who used a clone was the scum of the earth. He bought up all the 502. That was his first RDA, the 502 RDA. He bought up all the clones from Fast Tech so no one could have them because, dude, he was such a hardcore clone hating person. So this is the most hypocritical thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That this guy is going to review clones now. I mean, I do it because of strictly for money reasons, and my comparison stuff just because it's interesting, right? And I do it for the viewers, so who that's what they may be buying, right? But the fact that he was such a hater on clones and is going to do this, it's just it's just so. I don't know if it's like ironic or just like a slap in the face or like he just like just like pissing on the ashes of the whole thing. I don't know. No one's going to send him stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, there isn't much to send anyway, right? Not compared to before. There's things high-end wise, yeah, there's plenty of stuff, but he used to get sent high-end stuff even, and you know what? No, he's been really cut off, I guess, from high-end. I mean, he used to get sent stuff here and there, um, but no. I mean, when he did what he did to, like, VWM, that was the dumbest thing. I mean, well, for what I did, but mine was different. I mean, he just, like, had the Dope and the Imperia and just, like, bashed both of them just for whatever reason. I mean, they're great devices, so how can you have a problem with them? I think he just did it to do it, or, like, really can't figure shit out, or, maybe he expected airiness and just didn't get it. I don't know what it was, but, so there's one company he alienated, but he, like, Isma Guru, Typhoon. I'm pretty sure they sent him stuff for a while. So I don't know. I guess it's been that dry that he just has to. I just thought he just didn't care to do the reviews. I guess they just don't send him stuff anymore. I don't know. So yeah, this guy's gonna do clone. I mean, honestly, in one hand, I say, okay, good. I'd rather see that than nothing, and I'd rather see that than videos about a phone charger or something like that. You know what I mean? Like some of the shit that he puts out, or like a goofy clip of him making some kind of pun or whatever. I don't care. But I'd rather see something than nothing. I'm just saying, wow, what fucking hypocrisy is all. Just bizarre. But yeah. So now it's like another. Well, it also just kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't know if it like makes sense of how I go about it, but just shows you that like I'm not the only one that's thought to do stuff like that. And like for someone that was of his caliber of reviewing to do that, it's just fucking weird. Look at this thing. Seen this today. This isn't like your run of the mill sturdy. Damn, I can't remember the guy's name that had this. Kevin Hallman had this. I thought it was cool. It's sturdy. I don't know what that is. What the fuck is that? Looks like a dope inside there. Looks like a dot mob dope sturdy combination. Pretty neat. Desperate for views. Yeah, I mean, watch. She probably never even makes a clone or another vape video altogether. But I mean, it's just so fucking ridiculous that happened. I could have swore it was gonna just be a joke. So for him to really like go through with that is just gonna be insane. I guess this is gonna be a short one, especially compared to last week or whatever. But the other cool thing that happened was I guess this was like a day or so after my my last vlog. I decided to or I had like a little like rapport going with Charles. I had asked him a question about the coatings or the sealant that's used on BMM mods, and it seemed like he like really went out of his way to. Initially, I received kind of like a glossed over answer, but then he asked if I wanted to call him about it and get things explained better, and it was bad timing. So then, like a week went by, and then same day, but a week later, um, we kind of matched up. We had things. I don't know. I called. he was busy at the moment, but he called me back a couple hours later, and we had like an hour and a half conversation just about all sorts of BMM related shit. And it was really interesting to hear, why he did, like how different collabs came about and how they, you know, how well each one did and his experience with each modder and how that, yeah, it was just, I just got a lot of cool insight. It was initially just one question about about the finishing, and it ended up being really neat. Uh, and he's only done like one interview ever for YouTube, um, with Salty Jules. If anybody knows who he is, I had his mod collab, his heartbeat. I have a video on. He's done numerous reviews. He's got more subscribers than me still. I mean, but he hasn't done any videos in like maybe a couple of years now. So, but he was real early on all the Boro stuff, all the high end Boro stuff. When that stuff first came around, Salty Jules was reviewing it, and he was very inspiring because he was very stripped down. He didn't seem like an elaborate kind of reviewer. He was just like he was upbeat and just to the point or whatever. But he really made this stuff appeal. You could see the passion he had for it, and that's kind of like one of the main people that made me want to do reviews. So, um, he has the one and only interview with Charles, and it's actually a two-part one, so it's pretty long. Um, so, kind of kicking around the idea of doing another interview, and it would be cool because not if you're not in the group, you don't know shit about PMM to that extent, and Charles, unless it's just hearsay from actual members. So that would be pretty neat. But I want to do it right. I want to make sure I don't repeat stuff. I don't want to end up asking him all the same shit that Jules did. So um, I may go over that again. I'll maybe possibly do like a little poll or something, or like where you guys can write in and find out, if you want to potentially uh, ask your own question for Charles, and just to gain what I like the history to all this stuff, how it came about. How did BMM become basically the most sought out brand for mods in high end, particularly Bora mods, and yet it's all 3D printing. Who would have thought? And with it being all one guy running the whole thing, and he will get into detail about the material. I mean, he won't, because I was telling him, I'm like, everyone knows like your mods, even though a lot of people make 3D printed mods, none of them quite have this kind of feeling. And how much of it is like a secret sauce type thing. And he'll elaborate to a good extent, and give you some pretty good details on all this stuff. Now, I took it all in, but a lot of the finer details I don't have memorized enough to like, reiterate you know, spell out verbatim to you guys. But yeah, I mean, just like, you know, it's nice to have like a little more in-depth insight into the workings of it. Been a few BMMs up for sale over here. Very tempted, but 450 euro, or not euro, pounds plus. Yeah, I'd say new, or I'd say on the BSTs they generally sell for like um 5 to 7. but in the lower end now, more recently. I mean, it used to be on the higher end. Um, my first bow rat, I think I spent 700 on, or eight maybe. I know it was a lot. Man, I can't wait to I'm gonna watch the rest of that video just to see him try to reason with himself as to, you know, how it's okay now for him to do that. Which just cracks me up. And that was like it's funny because this all came about like basically the week after I started like toward the end of my last vlog, how I just kind of ranted on like how, he threw the channel away or whatever. I don't know. You could buy these things. You could buy the stuff, review it, and resell it, or get it for a good deal. Like, I guess it's important to him to get it brand new, but he's had his hazers send him used stuff to review. So it's like, and I'm sure they have tons of stuff. These hazers have tons of stuff that's just coming out that they could send to him. That's not clones. Like, they gotta buy. They gotta still buy gear. You know, to say that, oh, they only buy gear if it's made by me, my products. I don't think that's accurate. It could be, but I doubt it. What about collabs? Collabs aren't your thing. I mean, unless it's like a monarchy collab. I mean, some of the collabs I think are really cool looking. I like like the 38 Kill Lab one. That's really neat. Um, that new one, the Colt 45, it's not gonna be. That's it. Whatever was made is it. I think there's only 30 of them, so that's gonna be a very sought out mod. Also, the bow rat. If any of you didn't know, uh, you're gonna find out from me right now that the the bow rat is discontinued. He's not gonna be making them anymore. This is retired because he wants to streamline all his productions, and the the bootlegger is kind of going to take over because the bootlegger doesn't come with any, well, like this kind of fire button. So he's not going to have to make special buttons anymore when that's going to be the main mod people buy, because the fire button on that stock is a 3D printed button. To get the secondary button, that's an additional charge, an additional. It's not included anymore. So I think that's. But the thing is, I mean, if the 38's still around, that comes with a button, so you're still not out of the woods yet. So I don't see why that makes sense, right? But I guess the 38 or the bow rat being the older mod of the two, that's going to be the one to go. I imagine there's a lot of them out there. Um, I imagine a lot of people will still ask for them. So it's the most expensive one as well. But he just did the bow rat R. So that's the other confusing bit. I mean, how are you just going to make the R most recently? I mean, I guess there's the 38R now. There is a 38R as well. But the bow rat R is still relatively, I think it came out last January. So to discontinue it, I mean, you got to keep things moving, I guess. His philosophy was to sell as much as he can of one thing. But I guess in the end, you got to keep it moving. You know what I mean? So fair enough. The Stash Box 2.1 is also retired. So, you know. And here's the other tidbit. Now, I should probably have left everything out so you could hear it from him, but I don't know when I'm going to pull that together. So it could be a while, but I want it to happen. But he also said that he's going to be working on a new side by side mod. The nicely BMM mod is, I never personally liked it that much. I don't think it looks, because RTAs and 3D printed mods, I don't think they go together that well. I think Delrin mods go nicely, or something fucking machined, out of metal, or um, Juma, or you know what I mean, something fancier. Um, I think it's hard to make an RTA look nice with, a stainless steel chrome looking RTA with a black 3D printed mod. A lot of people like those hummingbird shift mods, or a Tech Division, I guess, but I don't know. I don't think they're that complimentary. But yeah, the nicely, even on its own, it's not that, it's kind of big looking for some reason. I never had one in hand to really, you know, weigh in on that, but it just doesn't look very complimentary toward a lot of mods. So um, I'm curious to see what he comes up with to replace that. That'll be cool. But yeah, just hearing about how the whole collabs in general started with RJ from Wicked, and there's a lot of cool details in that talk I had with him. And in the end, I look at it all like history. It's all like the legacy of this shit. Like, this stuff hasn't really been around that many years, but to call it history, but it really is. All things are history. I mean, enough time passes, everything is history. It all depends on how interested you are in said subject. So it's pretty neat how that comes together. And if it's worth learning to you, then it's worth learning. It's history. Um, you want that short look with a side by side. Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. It's too. I don't want to say bulbous, but like, yeah, it had like, seemed like it had like rounded edges to it, and it just, yeah, something didn't work right with it. But I feel like you're picking up what I'm putting down, kind of thing, or maybe I'm picking up what you're putting down, something like that. But yeah. How you doing, Chris? Chris Earl. I seen you. I seen you around. I'm also in top chat as always. I don't know why it does this automatically. See if I missed anything. Almost blurred. I hope you're not talking about my video streaming quality. Yeah. Um, so, I mean, how do you guys feel about the whole clone agenda? I couldn't. I was surprised that so many people were writing off on it, like that it was cool, an okay move for him to do. Um, Especially his Hazer friends, like in the comments, like it's always been about hating clones. They've always been about that. That was like the thing. Like, gotta hate clones. Um, so to just turn around and do them as a subject matter, it's just like, what happened to your high standards and morals and code of honor and all that bullshit? You live in a fucking mansion. Like, what's your excuse again? Just blows my mind. And like I said, I don't care. I mean, I'd rather see that than nothing. But where the fuck did that come from? I mean, really completely doing like a 180. But that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Um, there's a few other people that do stuff like that. I mean, it'll be entertaining. I'm not going to say it's not going to be entertaining. Uh, I'll I'll watch them. I, I bet every time it's going to be like, yeah, this tastes like machine oil. I fucking hate this thing. This is probably what's going to happen. Um, so we'll see. Because I know that happens to me. So I guess the next thing I'll do, I'm like way behind. I have like all these friggin' boot videos that I shot and as editing and but gear wise, I don't know which one to do first. I'll either do this Mob MS or the Tiny. Um, I feel so bad. I haven't done anything with this yet. I need to get an O-ring for it. Um, yeah, it's just been sitting here. I need to clean it too, because I don't think you really cleaned it that well. It still kind of smells like juice of some kind. But yeah, that's chilling here. Yeah, so that was kind of that. I have somewhere to go shortly, so I don't want to get too caught up. But I just had to like mention this because it just blew me away. I'm not completely surprised, but yeah, a little bit. I mean, I thought when he said that he was gonna come back with vape stuff, he was like genuinely gonna like get like high end gear, like you know, get in touch with the roots of the whole thing, like what kind of helped get him there. Shit, I don't know, but expecting more is not wise in that situation. So, all right, yeah, it's a little half hour spiel there. Um, don't mean to cut you short. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to see this. I mean, the justifications and it's just when I mean, I've never seen someone just flip flop shit so much in my life. Just over the years, just flip flopping their word and their positions on things. It's just like chameleon-esque type behavior. Or, I don't know. But again, something's better than nothing. Um, but he's gonna get. Well, maybe he wants grief. You know, bad publicity is the only publicity for him, probably. So, but I imagine we'll catch some grief for this. As I'm bringing it up right now, right? So maybe it's all part of the plan. But yeah, it's fucking weird. Topsy turvy. All right, folks. That is that I got. So I've been using my e-bike, my other one, and it's been going good, but it's kind of slow. So like I really can't see past 30 miles per hour. But I have my 50-mile-per-hour bike coming on Tuesday. Um, So I'll probably be making a video on that at some point because it's a pretty in demand bike, and there's videos on them, the goat, but there's not that many. There's not that much material on this stuff, so maybe do a one-off type video on that, and yeah. So I wish I had more vape stuff to get caught up on. I may see a you too. I may have a Hussar Simi later down the line. We'll see. So thanks, Dr. Roy. Ooh, without the midge and the dope? But why? Why would you want to get rid of those? They're they instantly come to mind when I say think of best. Just real quick, the Armor AMBB. Um, I've been liking the sturdy, and we could pick a Mob Mini, or we could pick the Control Micro. How's that? Or you didn't say anything about the OG unknown, so I'm gonna pick that one. There you go. These three. But no, the dope is just it's the best one, so that's the most important one to me. Because they're always in the top three. Well, they've always been in my top three. I mean, from a while back. My most popular viewed video is my top 10 RBA video, and which is like a 20,000 view video, which is like that's a lot for like any reviewer. For some reason, that video took off, and in that video, yeah, I used the dope and the unknown as my top two. But yeah, that still has not really changed that rating. The only things I pretty much add in there is like the sturdy and the micro. I would like to try the ridge, and I still haven't tried that Monarchy MS to give you my opinion on that. But yeah, I mean those are pretty much it. They're great. I would get the sturdy. The sturdy's cheap. It's readily available. It wicks easily. The flavor's great. It's got a number of options. It wicks fast. It's a good option for most people, I think. Like it's good juice capacity. It's threaded top, threaded base. Really ticks all the boxes. So, Chris Clark, you have the Ridge, cool. I don't even think there's any reviews on the Ridge, so I might wanna try to get some coverage on it. Yeah, see, even Hatman looks a sturdy. So you gotta trust the Hatman. Um, does anyone else feel like this is like a dangerous thing to do? Because I've been doing this for years. Somebody comment, oh my god, that this is dangerous. Is this dangerous to have a giant mosh pit full of batteries? I don't think it is it? It is? Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of the wraps are ripped up. Hey, Jewel Tom, how you doing? Yeah, I just do this. Should I feel bad about it? I don't know. There it is. It's been there forever. I always just take all my batteries and just lump them in a pile. I've always been doing that. I'm not an organized person. That thing is called an organizer. Does it look organized to you? I have a few different organizers. I'm not organized no matter what I do. So they're um they're there. You know, keeps them all in one spot. Imagine if you had them perfectly laid out, like one after another, like perfectly separated. It would take up so much space. It would take up my whole desk. I can't do that. And I have to charge them and use them constantly. So it's like that adds up. That adds up a lot of time in the end. I did it like that. All right. Until next time. If you didn't hear all that, have you noticed? Yeah, that was the whole topic, Joel Tom. Well, not the whole topic, but most of the topic of this video was about that. No, I didn't see the poll. Is the poll's not on YouTube though? It's on Facebook, I would imagine. I'll look into it. I think it's hilarious, no matter what. Mimo, Mimo. Ah, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I may try to make another video like that tomorrow. Um, it's been nice enough out. And now that I have an e-bike, I could do a little more, you know. Hey, we don't retract messages in here. If you said it, you meant it. I thought I read it too, and now I forget what you said. Um, Mimo, thank you for chiming in with that. I appreciate it. Oh, it is on YouTube. Okay, well, maybe we'll look it up together because I'm just curious at this point what he said or what the results were. Why can't I find it? Community? Oh, here it is. Cool. No, stick to pods and throwaways. That's the other option. I want to continue to do reviews. However, I'm not going to spend 500 on a product or even 300. Well, that's the whole thing, dude. I mean, to get nothing out of it. I mean, you get the accomplishment of. I mean, I don't. I don't want to act like it's. I can see where he's coming from, but well, you could compare them to the authentics if you do older ones. I'm gonna click yes, review clones. 89% said yes, review clones. So, you know, for all the times I've been bashed for it, not necessarily by him, but just in general. And now it's okay when he does it or he's going to turn around and do it. I mean, I've never been completely one sided about my stance on clones. I've always been open to it because that's how I got into high end. So, how can I completely turn on the idea of it? He, however, has not. He has been super anti for pretty much his whole life or his whole channel. I mean, very briefly was he like, because and that's only because of the time period, the circumstances. So for him to just be like they're okay now, it just baffles me. Okay, that was that. Um, Nothing more to really add to that, but I just had to get that out there. Just how jarring that was to hear. You have the odd job. That's one I really would like to try. There's not many I would like to try. That's definitely one of them. It's better than the odd job. The MS's or the Midge or both. Yeah, well, the MS looks like it'll be nice to wick. It looks like it's got that nice, easy Mob Mini wicking port that I'm very comfortable with. Yeah, dude, he's always been, dude, I know. Remember how the designs? Remember he would go into shit about people stealing the designs and the designs were cloning? I mean, there, no matter how many things you tweaked, it was still a clone, and they were like, hate clone. Whoa, it's the worst thing you could possibly do in the world. But now you're gonna review clones. Are you the biggest piece of shit in the world? Like, what is this? What is this? It's fucking the Twilight Zone. Just no integrity. Just no giving a fuck about anything. You're just showing just how much of a fucking wishy-washy person you are by doing this. But you're the one that backed yourself in this corner. You're the one that labeled yourself like this. You know what I mean? Put yourself in a box. Now everyone sees you trying to climb out of the box. Yeah, the Kuma. I've always wanted to try that too. I never got around to it though. I thought they looked cool. I liked the media blasted one, the satin finish one. I thought that was cool looking. I have a Cabello clone. That's it. Yeah, well, it's neat looking. The odd job. That and the reload one are the cheaper ones that I think are most appealing. All right, I'm gonna have to leave soon, so I should go now and make sure I'm not late because I'm not the most punctual person. Yeah, he's gonna put a giant ass coil in there, dude. He's just such a mockery of himself. I mean, what the fuck happened to this guy? Seriously, you're not that broke that you can't, or you're so can you. Even though half the people hate you, you still have all these people that you're connected to, and people that just give you straight up money, like, and they buy tons of vape gear. They'll send you the new authentic stuff. You don't have to buy clones. He has so many ass kissing people in his life that why should you have to buy any clones? The fuck are you talking about? Just makes no sense. It's deliberate and it's just a cocky. It's just it's a publicity stunt, is what it is. You know. Anyhow, all right, that's that. I look forward to watching the rest of it. All right, I'll see. I'll see you until next time, next weekend or something like that. I think the only guy who likes Jay is one reviewer who uses Dutch handmade coils. Who am I thinking of? Salty Jules used to be cool as Jay. Oh, Jim VV. Yeah, Jim VV is a hazer, technically. Um, he's German, though. Maybe he just doesn't know any better. I don't know. Jim VV, I don't know. Um, seems very serious or cynical, or I don't know. But I gotta appreciate how much content he's put out um, over these last couple of years. He's really contributed a lot to to vaping in general, I think. So I can't really say a bad thing about him. But if he wants to like Jay Hayes, he wants to like Jay Hayes. I mean, I was always a neutral person with that guy, but when he does shit like this, I'm gonna mention it. Not with Jim, but with Jay. Yeah. Well, he doesn't want comments on his channel about Jay, which I wouldn't either. I mean, when you're doing a review for somebody, I don't know, people are so hardcore one way or another. They're either like in love with the idea of Jay Hayes or they hate him. So I don't know, there just can't seem to be a middle ground for that guy. So yeah. Yeah, he's great content. He's always very to the point as well. Um, the shots are always good, edited tightly. You can't really beat. I mean, and the variety, and it's always stuff you want to see. It's always more high endish stuff. I mean, once in a while he'll do pod stuff, and ugh, no one likes that. But overall, I'd say his content's been pretty solid. He's kind of carried things because otherwise, what do you got? Mark Todd, and you have some Bogan and some Grim. Grim Green doesn't even really do. He probably has like the least high end reviews of any big name channel. So yeah, I mean he's carried a lot. I'd say. Yeah. All right. So that will do it. Um, until next time, you'll enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Father's Day. Anybody's a father. Um, yeah. So I'll see you. Take care.